Hi everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Morning Tapes podcast. I'm very excited to get this going. It's been 2 months since I announced that this project was going to happen, so I think it's long enough. I think it's been long enough. So, welcome to the first episode of the Morning Tapes podcast. This is going to be a monologue style podcast, which means it's just me. So get used to it, bro. I'm not gonna lie. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Matthew Fontaine. I'm the creator of the YouTube channel Font Films. I'm also a college student studying film and television, and in December of this year, I will be releasing my first film. So we're going to be covering all things Font Films, from regular video releases, like the reaction videos or stuff like that, to larger film projects, because I think I wanted to use this time to just talk about the interesting stuff coming up. We have a lot of stuff going on, from the recording of Awry, our first film. A couple days ago, I announced that we have a lot of projects coming up. We have a Disney vlog. It's a sequel to the my old channel Laughter Dog. I made when I was like 15. I want to say I went to Disney and I made a short vlog about it. It's really dumb. It's actually really aggravating if you like Disney, because I feel like I'm rage baiting just for like 10 minutes. I don't know. It's just not the most professional video in the world. But we're finally doing a sequel of that. There's over 3 hours of footage from my for the new video. So I'll be editing that for the next couple weeks. And I'll get that out to you guys. Thanksgiving, that comes out. We also have the sequel to My Name is Matthew and the Year is 2020, which is basically one of those videos where you record yourself to ask yourself, your future self, questions. And usually the questions are pretty cool. Like, how's college going? Do we go to college? What are we doing in our life? And I decided that I was just going to spend that time for that video and just ask stupid questions like, what's the best video game right now? Is Fortnite still popular? How many subscribers do we have? I was like, are we going to have over 1 million subscribers? We're not even, we're scraping 9,000. Not even. We're below 9,000. So, don't always get what you want, but that's okay. But the sequel to that comes out on December 8th, I believe. And most importantly, Awry was fine. The release date for Awry is finally out. It's December 19th, 2025. I'm very excited for that. For the first episode of the Morning Tapes, I decided that I was going to pretty much just talk about that the entire time. These episodes aren't going to be that long. I would say roughly, 20 to 30 minutes each episode, just because I didn't want a super long podcast, especially since it's just me. And this podcast is pretty much just going to be me talking about the channel and the updates that's going on. Take it as a kind of behind the scenes type project, because I'm giving you guys the scoop of what's happening with our projects. I have some cool stuff to say today, because today we are talking about Awry and pretty much how it came to be, how I got the idea, when I got the idea. So let's just talk about it. So before anything, just want to do a quick shout out. I'm not going to name drop or anything, but my 2 closest friends, they really helped me out a lot. And this whole story kind of starts with them pretty much, because last year around New Year's Eve, we were talking and they were like, what should we do for our New Year's resolution? What do we want to change about ourselves? And for me personally, I was like, I want to work harder on projects, because I didn't really do that much last year. I think during this time, I stopped doing Font Films for a little bit too, which was also an idea by them. I don't think I mentioned it in the video that I made a while ago, which explained all the projects I was going to do. But bringing back Laughter Dog was actually their idea. So I don't want to take credit for that. That was actually them. And after, I don't know, a year and a half of saying that I didn't want to, I finally listened to them, and that was a good decision. To my defense, the videos are really bad, but in their defense, it does help out the channel, and it's pretty cool to see the progress of my really awful videos from 2020 and before. But yeah, so my New Year's resolution was going to be I want to work harder on projects. And I think a week or two went by and we were talking again, same friends. And I got the idea. I was like, you know what? I want to make this big project for the YouTube channel. I want to do something big. And I don't know what I want to do yet, but I know I want it to be a larger project than anything I've done before. I'll post it to Font Films. And I just want, it doesn't even need to get that much attention. Obviously, it'd be nice if it did. But it's just kind of, I just want it to be, I don't know, just to get my name out there or just to say that I did it. So obviously, they like the idea. They want to see me do bigger projects. So I pretty much just like, I don't know, I kind of got to work there. And I kind of just brainstormed a little bit. Originally, it was going to be a documentary style type of video because that's what I do like outside of the channel. I've had a job where I do editing for a small documentary series for this small organization. And documentary style editing is sort of like what I'm used to. And I wanted the documentary to sort of be about me and show like, this is how I grew up. This is why I started doing YouTube. This is why I'm a college student studying film. And this is where I want my future to be. It's sort of going to be like those videos, like the Draw My Life videos, but, you know, in real life. And after a couple weeks of just thinking of what I could do, I eventually came to the conclusion that, you know, that was an awful idea. And so I scrapped it. I could still do that, but by no means does that need to be like this 40-minute large project. I'm going to have to edit this video a lot because I keep thinking of different alternate versions of this project because I've been thinking about this all year. It's been in the back of my mind. There were so many versions of this, and what it is now is nothing what it was to begin with. But the second version of the project was going to be a sequel to the video I mentioned earlier, My Name is Matthew, in the years 2020, where the ending of it would be this interview of me talking to a younger version of myself. Once again, after some weeks of thinking, I realized that, you know, once again, an awful idea because the questions I asked are, they're so bad. And, you know, no one's going to watch that. So I scrapped that idea as well. And some time went by. Then I finally got the idea to be like, you know what? Why don't I just make this a movie? Why don't I take advantage of the name of my channel and make a film to be posted on Font Films? Once again, I don't know why it took this long to have this happen, but yeah, I stuck with that idea, and obviously that's what it is now. Then I did some brainstorming of like, what's the overall message going to be? And the message that I really stuck with was that you need to stop getting in the way of yourself. Like, you can't just push yourself around to let others push you around. I don't know. It sounds like a Darman video that I'm like talking about it out loud. But yeah, that's the message that I want, and more or less that's what it still is now. I would say there's been some intense changes to the script and storyline of the film, which we will get into. Then after that, I want to say I had to come up with the name. Luckily for me, I was smart enough to keep a document of all of the different versions of the script and what the original idea was going to be. So actually, I can read that down. I can read that now. I'm going to type Gone Awry. There's like 25 different documents because I did so many. I don't think I have it written down, but basically the message was always going to be stop getting in the way of yourself. But the story was going to be pretty much a character who wants to do something of their life, and something happens to where that changes and their life goes awry, gone awry. You see, yeah, you get it. So the first elevator pitch for Gone Awry, this is awful, bro. Oh my, this is so bad. After creating a YouTube video where he plans to ask himself future questions, Matthew goes through the next 5 unforeseen years of his life as he attempts to continue his space on YouTube. So it's going to be this weird hybrid between documentary and a film, and I don't know, it just felt weird, and I don't think people would have liked it now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know why I was the main character. Like, I didn't play a character, it was just me. Then the elevator pitch for the second version, Matthew, a struggling college student. Like, once again, I'm roasting myself, dude. I don't know why I made this. Matthew, a struggling college student who is unaware of the future of his life, gets transported to this world inside an old television where he must travel to different channels to discover why he was brought there. Have you seen A24's Everything Everywhere All at Once? It's a very weird movie, but that's pretty much what it was going to be briefly, which of course is a very risky and challenging move for the first, like, I guess, somewhat professional film. I was like 0 to 100 posting Disney vlogs and Joker movie reviews to just, I don't know, like $50 million film budget, like Avengers Endgame level of production. I don't know what I was thinking. The idea of the film was going to be like, I get transported into this television and I have this remote where as I travel through the different channels and they're different variants of myself. And as the channels go on, I've realized that, hey, you know, all of these different variants of myself in this television are very successful. I'm not successful. So what do I need to change about my life to make that be successful? Yeah, once again, a very weird concept. I'm glad that we scrapped it. I'm glad that I scrapped it. I started writing scripts. I don't think the scripts came out that good at all. Unironically, I think there was about like 6 to 7 scripts in total. Did a lot of writing, did a lot of rewriting, and some more time went on, and I entered the second semester of my freshman year of college. I was in this script writing class, and for the final of the course was to write your own film script. The maximum was 10 pages long. One day I went up to the professor and I said, hey, it's kind of like a shout out. I was like, I do YouTube and I want to make this script for this movie I want to make. Could I turn it into you for a final grade to get your honest opinion on it? He was like, yeah, sure, you can do that. That sounds cool. And I'm like, all right, yeah, it's going to be a little bit longer than 10 pages. It might be, you know, like 20 or something like that. It's like, oh yeah, no worries at all. I turned in a 36-page script for my final, to which the professor just gave me 100 because I do not think he read all that. I don't blame him at all. However, when I was writing it, it felt very rushed. It didn't feel, you know, I feel like it was just writing to write something. So I turned it in. I got the 100, but he left a comment being like, I like it. Take some time to just think and, you know, you can go back on it, which I think is a nice way of saying this sucks and it's awful and you need to fix it. So I did that. Some time went by and I went back to it. And I realized, you know, how bad it was. It was not good at all. The summer went by, did some more writing, came back to college my sophomore year. This was about a month or two ago. I realized that, hey, I wanted to release this project in December of this year. It's August and I don't have a script. So how about I get on that? So I wrote again. Once again, I felt like I was sort of just writing to write something, but I felt a little bit more confident in it. I will say this, at the end of every script, I felt more and more confident, like I was getting closer to what I wanted to make. And I wrote this script that was like, it's a message about stop getting in the way of yourself, but also deals with anxiety. And this character, James, deals with a lot of anxiety and he has these nightmares to where he is, you know, it's scary. Like this movie it has a great message, but there's some horror aspects to it. It's not a horror film, but it's just, you know, it's scary. There's some moments of where like, oh, you know, that scared me, which is, that's what I want. I like the feeling of getting emotions out of the audience. If you can get, I believe that if you can get a audience to scream, laugh, or cry, that's the sign of a good movie because like you get your emotions out there very well. Good writing and good filmmaking, I believe, adds to emotions. Obviously, you can have a bad movie with scares, and you know, obviously you're gonna scare people. There's obviously a line between a bad scary movie and a good scary movie, and just a scary movie that's also a very good movie as well. Like it's not the same thing. What I mean, I'm saying that out loud. I'm not the best at like describing stuff, but I know somewhere in that sentence that I just said that makes sense. So I turned in the script. I sent it to my old professor from last year. And then I'm also part of this club at college where it's just a bunch of, you know, really cool and really, you know, awesome film students because every film student ever is the coolest person in the world. For one of the meetings, it was basically describing, hey guys, you have 2 weeks to make whatever you want. And in 2 weeks, we're going to be presenting them to the club just to see what everyone can do just for fun. I was originally going to do the separate film that also dealt with like anxiety and, being an introvert. I was actually setting it up to film that short film when I got the idea to scrap that idea and make a shorter version of Gone Awry to see like how an audience would react to the type of film that I wanted to make. The film would pretty much just be one of the dream sequences that would show horror and it would be scary. And I made this short film and I presented it. I mean, here's a clip of what the audience thought of it. I think they liked it. After the meeting, multiple people came up to me and they were like, hey, you made that horror film, right? That was really good. You should definitely do more stuff like that. My professor got back to me from the script I sent him and he was like, I like some of the ideas you have. I like the dream sequences. I like how you filmed on different things. Oh, yeah, by the way, for the majority of the film, it's filmed on an iPhone. I know, very professional. And for the dream sequences, I'm taking my family's old camcorder, my Sony like something camcorder. I forgot the name of it. I like the sort of not unnatural, but like it's a camcorder. It looks awful, but for what I want, I think it looks great. It's a different aspect ratio. It's a different quality. You're not going to get this 4K amazing quality from this early 2000 camcorder from Sony. But if you combine the two and put some really obnoxiously eerie music behind it, you get a vibe. You get this creepy, uneasy vibe, which is what I was going for. So I sent the professor the clip on the short film that I made, and he said he really liked that a lot more than the script because it was scary and it flowed a little bit better than the script I made, if that makes sense. So finally, I got the idea to like, you know what? Maybe I should go in the horror film genre, rewrite the script, or, fix the script, not completely go back to the drawing board, but sort of just go back, run through the script, and basically be like, this is a section I want to keep. This is a section that we can cut out and I can rewrite. And I wrote the final version, the final full version, and right now we're just polishing it. And within the next few days, I think we'll have the final script. And in early November, we will be filming. And I will have a month or two, no, well, not a month or two, just a month to edit. And December 19th, Gone Awry will officially release. I am very proud of the project and how it's going so far. It definitely helps to know that people are excited for the film. It definitely motivates me to continue working on it. But I think you guys are going to absolutely love Gone Awry, or at least like it at the very least. As a little reward for listening to the first episode of the Morning Tapes, I will say this now. The official film genre of the film will be a psychological horror, thriller, and drama. Maybe a couple comedic scenes and, funny moments. But for the most part, it's going to be a thriller, and it's definitely, definitely psychological horror. That's as much as I'll say for right now. I don't want to say too much. After filming in early November, I will work on a trailer. I want to say the trailer will come out maybe Thanksgiving, and you guys will get the very first look of Gone Awry. And then just wait a couple more weeks, and then the film will be out. But like I said, the overall plan of the film is just to, get my name out there. Even if it doesn't do that, just make a project that I like, that I can show people that I made, that I'm proud of. And so far, I'm very proud of how it's coming along so far, even though we're still in the pre-production phases. So yeah, I think I think that about does it for episode 1. I said all I really wanted to say. At least the next few episodes will be about Gone Awry. Make sure to stay tuned for more updates of the film. Thank you all for tuning into the very first episode of the Morning Tapes. If you enjoy this content style, make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Or if you're listening to Spotify or Apple Podcast, I don't know, just listen to the next episode. I don't know what to tell you. Make sure to listen to our next episode where I will be discussing the casting for the project as well as the upcoming filming process. I'm terrified. This is it's a very, I'm not that scared of it because it's not that professional. We're filming on a camcorder and an iPhone 16 Pro. So, but yeah, I'm gonna stop recording now because as the seconds go by, that means I have to edit more. So, bye everyone, and I'll see you next week.